If y equals 2x minus 8, what is the minimum value of the product x, y? So I'm going to go ahead and start right here. And just the first thing to note is we have the product of x, y. Okay. X is just going to be x, but y we know is actually equal to 2x minus 8. So I'm going to flip over to my next page. Just shortened version of our question there. And I'm going to go ahead and substitute 2x minus 8 in for y. So I end up with x times 2x minus 8. And I'm going to set that equal to f of x. We're going to make this a function. Okay. Now, remember, when we talk about minimum values and maximum values, we can test for critical points in functions by just taking the first derivative. Now, something to keep in mind is a critical point isn't a guarantee that you have a minimum or a maximum. It just means your slope is 0 at a specific point when you use that first derivative test. Okay, so let's go ahead and simplify this first. We're just doing the distributive property, right? So 2x squared minus 8x. And just looking at our lead term here, we know this is going to be a parabola that opens up. So in this case, we are going to have a minimum, and at our minimum value, our slope is going to be 0. So let's go ahead and take the first derivative. Okay, so f prime of x, just using our power rule, could be 4x minus 8. Now, as I mentioned, wherever your first derivative is equal to 0, that's going to represent the location of a critical point. In this case, it'll represent the location of our minimum. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll set 0 equal to 4x minus 8. Add 8 to both sides. And I get 8 equals 4x. Or 2 equals x. So this just tells us that we have a minimum at x equals 2. So we're going to go to our original function here. F of x equals 2x squared minus 8x. And we're going to go ahead and plug in our x value of 2. That'll tell us what our minimum value is. So f of 2 equals 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2. That gives us 2 squared is 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 8 times 2 is negative 16, which means f of 2 is negative 8. And we have a minimum minimum value of negative 8. And if we go back one page, that is going to be